Hello, and welcome back to my new video. First of all, sorry for not uploading for so long, but as you can see I had something very special planned, and that is Heron PvP. So, yeah, there has actually been a problem in factional warfare since the Uprising expansion, and that problem is called Catalyst Navy issue. And I have tried many times to kill Catalyst Navy issues in Tier 1 frigates, and I never succeeded. And that really annoyed me, so I started thinking, what can counter a Catalyst Navy issue? And of course you could fly a Hawk or a Harpy or Enyo or an Ishkar as assault frigates, and you could easily kill Catalyst Navy issues. But where's the fun in that? You could also do it in Hook Bill, but that's not really a challenge, I think. So I thought, yeah, what do you actually need to counter Catalyst Navy issue? And there are two ways you can kill it. One is by neuting it out, and the other one is by outranging it with, for example, tracking disruptors. And most ships don't have the tank to neut the Catalyst Navy out before they take too much damage and die, so I chose the second option. And then I kept thinking, which ship has enough slots to do what I wanted to do? And the only Tier 1 frigate with 5 med slots is the Heron. So it was the only choice I had left. And yeah, here's my fit. So let's go over it. I have two 200mm autocannons. Usually I load them with fusion ammo, and a rocket launcher with Nova Rage rockets, which I usually use for Catalyst Navies because most are armor fit, so I want the explosive damage. Same with the fusion. Then I have Scram, Web, AB, and 2 tracking disruptors, usually with optimal range script. In the low slots I have 2 gyro stabilizers, 2, just to get more DPS. And then my rig slots, it starts getting interesting because I have an auxiliary thruster, which increases my speed by about 100 meters per second. I have a projectile ambit extension, which increases my projectile turret range, so I actually have the range at which I want to fight. And then I have a targeting systems subcontroller, which increases my scan resolution down here, because in Heron PvP or exploration frigate PvP in general, the biggest issue is that you can't lock people fast enough. So this skin improves my scan resolution by more than 100mm, making it so that I can lock most Catalyst Navy issues before they can lock me, giving me a good advantage. Well, yeah, I forgot to mention the drones, of course, and the different ammo types I carry. Barrage, in case I get kited. Hail, I never used Hail, but sometimes you might want Hail if something gets too close. Mjolnir and Nova rockets, Rage rockets usually, because if you need Javelin, you might as well leave the slot empty and absorb more heat damage like that, because Javelin is not doing that much, and usually the Rage rockets have enough range. And then I have EMP and Fusion, of course, to change in case I find a blaster shield ship like a Merlin or a Cormorant, for example. Then I also have 2 guidance disruptors with the 2 scripts for it, because you can actually kill some missile ships with this, and the tracking speed disruption script as well, in case I want to outtrack something instead of outranging it. You can see I have an impressive 152 DPS, 170 hot, and yeah, 8.1 kilometers range, and both tracking disruptors reduce the fall off and optimal range by 73%, so that times 2. And if you overheat them, you actually get an even higher bonus. But this ship is paper thin. You have 0 tank at all, so you just have to rely on not getting hit. That is also why I didn't fit a damage control or an armor wrapper or anything, because it's just a waste of slots. If you get hit, you're dead anyway in the Heron, so yeah. And yeah, this ship was really fun to fly. I did not think it would perform that well, but it really worked super well. And it's really a lot of fun to to meme on those Catalyst Navy issues and kill them with the Heron. You see the price is a bit on the higher side, but I think it's a good price considering you can kill Navy destroyers in this Tier 1 frigate. And yeah, I think that's enough of the talking, and we should get into some fights. So here we are in the first clip. I am sliding in on this Catalyst Navy issue, and this is to show how you can find out if you can actually take the fight or not. So you see, I immediately look at the ship, because after warp you have a 10-second invulnerability, and when looking at the guns, I see that they have pointy things and they are not completely round, meaning that they are railguns and not blasters. So I know I cannot take this fight. I still lock him while warping off, just if he would tackle me I could put the tracking disruptors on me, but you see, you are barely able to warp off like that. Now I'm sliding on the next Catalyst Navy, and this is the actual first real fight I had. Again, after sliding I see him on the beacon, so I just guessed that he is blaster fit. Of course, if he had been rail fit now I would have been screwed. But I get lucky and he is indeed blaster fit, as I wanted him to be. So I immediately click my keep at range 7.5 km, which is usually what I want to keep the Catalyst Navies at. Here I wanted to turn off heat on the AAB, but I accidentally turned off the AAB instead. And now I finally realize I should start heating my guns, maybe. You also see when I slide in I have my afterburner and my both tracking disruptors preheated, because that gives me time during the first 2-3 kilometers when I'm still very close. I want to use that bonus that I get from overheating the tracking disruptors to get out of range. And yeah, now it's just to grind through his tank and he can barely do anything. This pilot did do a really good job though, because first he tested the waters with Null if he could really not hit me, and when he realized that, he switched to Caldari Navy Antimatter or Void, I can't remember, but he switched to close range ammo anyway, and he started defanging my drones, which was a really good call because the drones on the Heron actually have a lot of the DPS. And now that he killed 2 of my drones, I just recalled them to stop him from doing that. So yeah, I'm 2 drones down, but the Heron can fit 7 in its cargo hold, so I'm still fine. Now I'm hitting my scram a bit because I'm a bit nervous that I would lose scram, but yeah, he's entering hull, and I'm still doing a lot of damage to him. Heat management is very important on this fit because you can burn out your mid-track really quickly. And you see, there he got a lucky shot on me with Null again. So I got really nervous because there is always a chance of a lucky hit or a wrecking shot, because a wrecking shot actually ignores tracking and range. It is a 1 in 100 chance of hitting, so 1% chance, and it always does 300% of the top damage that the ship could do, and it always hits. So if he gets a wrecking shot, I'm definitely one shot. So yeah, here I just hope that he won't get any more lucky shots or wrecking shots in, and I can just keep getting through his tank. Now I'm hitting my tracking disruptors again because I still have a lot of heat left and I'm nervous, so I just want to make sure I can secure the kill. And now I'm playing the drone game, meaning I deploy them, put them on him for 1-2 volleys, and then recall them again before he can lock and shoot them. Which works really nice, and which is also what a cruiser should do when it is getting attacked by a frigate. And yeah, here I didn't realize my rockets were reloading, so I didn't reactivate them, unfortunately. And now the Catalyst Navy pilot finally realized he has an armor wrapper, and he starts wrapping. And I also see a Punisher and a Caracal Navy on scan. And I'm really nervous now because I think they are his friends to come and save him. And you see how close it is, but I just can't get the last few percentages of hull off because he's still armor wrapping like crazy now. You see 5% hull left, and the other 2 guys are landing now. 3% hull, 2%, and 1%. So close. And then finally I kill him. I recall drones and immediately warp off so I don't get attacked by any of the other guys. And then when looking at the kill mail I realized they were actually not his friends, but his guys, so unfortunately they are on the kill mail, but you saw I would have solo killed him. But yeah, here I'm sliding in on the next ship. This is against the Cormorant. And again I check the guns, and this time they are nice and round, so I know they are neutron blasters. Again, 7.8 kilometers keep at range. But I am a bit nervous here because the Cormorant gets a nice range bonus. So I am a bit nervous, but then I see how quickly I'm melting through his tank, and I quickly relax and realize it's not that dangerous. I also loaded EMP and Mjolnir rockets in this fight because Cormorants are usually shield fit. But yeah, you see he's melting rather quickly, he's already in hull. And he dies. GF, bye bye Cormorant. Here's the kill mail, and only now I just realized that he when I opened the kill map, I just realized that he was actually T1 fit, so it was pretty easy. After those two first engagements, I felt comfortable, so I baited this Hecate by annoying him at the gate and then going to a Plex. And he actually followed me. And yeah, again, I put everything on him. Tracking disruptors, guns, rockets, with the heated AB. And yeah, Hecates are super scary, because the Hecate has a bonus to tracking disruptors, meaning, well, not a bonus, it gets a resistance to tracking disruptors. So you see, even though I was outside of his blaster range, technically he could still hit me because the dual tracking disruptors don't affect him as much. Here's a pretty chill fight just against Catalyst, not too dangerous. Most Catalysts are pretty easy for this fit unless they are some weird rail fit, because they only have 2 med slots, so AB and web is the worst for range control they can have, and I can still, without a problem, outroll that. I'm just doing my heat management in the background, but yeah, while we watch that I can tell you more about the Hecate. After that loss to the Hecate, I did the math, and I found out that when I dual tracking disrupt a Hecate, I reduce his range from 9.5 kilometers to 7.8, and had I known that before, I could have kept him at range at like 8.5 kilometers, but it would have been on the edge of my scrum range, so yeah, it wouldn't have been that great, and I would still have been too close for comfort to his range. So if I had known that in advance, I might have been able to kill the Hecate, but yeah, not like that. And there you see the killman of the Catalyst, pretty easy. Which hit me with null, but still couldn't hit. Okay, this next fight is against the Rifter, and I was a bit nervous, not thinking if I could actually outtrack him. I check his guns, and I see they are 125mm autocannons. I go into orbit 500 with tracking script, as you can see, because I want to outtrack him. And yeah, his first volley misses, which is the most important volley, because after that I'm in a safe orbit, and it would be much harder for him to hit me. And yeah, you see I'm rather quickly getting through him. Dual tracking disruptor really helps a lot, and autocannon is also not the best tracking gun in the game. So yeah, I'm pretty comfortably outtracking him. I'm also outtracking myself, but I have the drones and the rockets to kill him, so I'm not too worried about missing a few shots with my autocannons, because I have a lot of time to kill him, because he's not gonna hit me anytime soon. You see I overheat my rockets a bit more, but don't overheat my autocannons, because overheating guns that don't hit makes not much sense. But yeah, I'm getting slowly through his tank. Unfortunately, the pilot also tried to approach me. Maybe if he had manually piloted away from me, it would have worked better. And I also think he had hail loaded and not fusion, which has better tracking. So he could have done some things better here, but I do think I could still outtrack him. And yeah, now he's heading towards Hull. And I overheat my guns and rockets a bit more just to secure the kill. And he dies. GF bye bye Rifter. Really nice fight. This proves that you can also take on Thrasher fleet issues with this. Unfortunately, the only Thrasher fleet issue I found to fight, I had lag while sliding in, so he one-shot me before I could click orbit, and all the other ones ran away, so I couldn't get a really Thrasher fleet issue fight, but the Thrasher fleet doesn't get a tracking bonus, so you can outtrack it. Here in this next fight I am fighting Hawk, and I refitted for Mr. Guns disruptors, as you can see, with optimal range, and I'm keeping him at range at 7.5 kilometers. The Hawk does have a range bonus, but not a really good one, so I am outside his range at 7.5 kilometers with the dual TD. Well, Guidance Disruptor, GD. And now I'm just sitting here and slowly grinding through his tank. Of course, if the pilot would reload for Javelin, I would be in a really bad spot, but I hoped he wouldn't have Javelin, and I could kill him like that. And you see he is still shooting me with rockets, but they don't quite reach me. So yeah, I'm fine here. Before this fight, I saw that there was a pirate in system, so I asked him if he would please stay out of the 1v1. So you're gonna see soon I'm gonna open the convo with that pilot. Because you can see I'm getting through the Hawk tank, but the NPC is getting through my tank, which is really funny. because the NPC is doing so much damage that the Hawk is winning the DPS race. And yeah, so in a minute you can see that I open our private convo, where I asked that pilot, the pirate I asked before, if he could come and help me shoot the destroyer, because I really wanted to get this fight and hopefully the kill, but with the NPC it's really unlucky. You see I'm overheating my guns and rockets now, and I'm keep deploying and recalling my drones because he now started attacking my drones. And yeah, he's slowly heading towards half shield, but so am I. So yeah, there you see, I open the convo and I ask him if he could please come and help me. Yeah, because that's it would be quite embarrassing if I would lose the Hawk kill because the NPC would kill me before that. But yeah, now you see my rockets are in reload and I have to stop overheating because it's getting rather close with the heat on my guns. And now, unfortunately, the pilot finally realized that he has javelin missiles. I tried to pull more range, but yeah, the Hawk has so much DPS that within a few volleys he kills me. But it was a really nice attempt, and I think with a bit more luck it could have worked. Now, here's the next fight against a Catalyst Navy issue. Second example, he just rams me, which is the right thing to do, because sometimes you get a lucky shot in. But yeah, I immediately pull range from him, and yeah, now I'm at the good range again, and there's not much he can do. You see I have both tracking disruptors and the scram and the afterburner on my first 4 hotkeys, because the most important modules to get on the enemy are of course the tracking disruptors, and the third most important module is the scram, because most Catalyst Navy issues are MWD fit. So if I scram them quickly, I gain a lot of range control, and then the web is not so important because the AB Catalyst Navy issue is really rare. So yeah, that's why I have the modules like this. I'm also struggling a bit with my range control because I lose scram a few times, but I always manage to get it back on, and yeah, I'm fine like that. For any destroyer pilots, I suggest... Oh yeah, he got a few volleys here in, and I'm really nervous that he's gonna kill me. But then I start overheating my tracking disruptors, and I'm slowly inching away from him again, so it gets better and better. But yeah, as I was saying... no, what was I saying? I don't remember. Well, anyway, I have to really pay attention that I don't lose scram, because if I would lose scram, he could activate his MWD and get really close to me again. Oh, now I remember what I wanted to say. For the destroyer pilots, especially the blaster destroyer pilots out there, when you see a frigate outside of your plex, always load null, because not many frigates try to outtrack you, most try to outrange you. So if you can with null get a few volleys in before they can pull range, that's really nice. Especially against something like this Heron, with the dual TD, you really want to get null volleys in while he's still in null range. And the hybrid turret reload time is only 5 seconds, so you always have the time to switch ammo before someone slides in. Now I'm afraid I'm gonna lose scram, so I just approached him in the last second, but he dies anyway, GF. You might have seen that I also had 94% heat damage on my scram, so that was really, really close. Okay, and then finally, the last fight against the Catalyst Navy issue I had. Again, I'm sliding in, and he sits at 0 on the beacon. I check his guns, and see he's blaster fit. So I immediately pull range again, put the tracking disruptor, scram, web, guns, everything on him. And again, you saw his first volley hit me while I was at 2 kilometers range, which is outside of his void range when dual tracking disrupted. But if he had null, he could have there probably one-shot me. So yeah, that's my point. And yeah, now I can stop overheating my scram and the tracking disruptors. And now the scary part begins, because if you pay close attention to his speed and my speed, you see that he is going faster, which I didn't realize at this point. But this Catalyst Navy issue is afterburner fit, which is super, super scary. So yeah, now I see that he is slowly getting faster than I am, so I'm now overheating my afterburner for a cycle and I'm getting back at my optimal range. But that was really scary there for a second when I realized, damn, he's faster. But yeah, I'm now at the good range, 7.3, 7.5 kilometers. And I'm just slowly getting to his tank. I'm also doing the drone thing again, because he already killed 2 of my drones again. This frigate is really losing a lot of drones. But yeah, it's better to sacrifice the drones, because while he's shooting the drones, he can't try to shoot you. And well, every time he shoots you, there is the chance that he gets a wrecking shot. So the fit depends on luck, but not too much. And yeah, he is armor ripping a bit, but he's hitting hull, and there's not much left he can do. I'm again just recalling and redeploying drones all the time, because every time I do that, he loses lock on them, and I make sure they survive like that. This ship is also very vulnerable to newts, so when fighting Thrasher fleet issues or Cursor Navy issues, for example, you have to be careful, because if they have newts, there's not much you can do. You have 7 active modules. Well, the guns and the rockets don't take cap, but then you still have 5 active modules that consume cap, and the Heron cap is not the strongest to start with, so you need to be really careful with that. But if there are no newts, you're fine. And now you see the pilot is in a final attempt trying to get away from me, and he broke my scram for a second, but I got it back. And yeah, he dies just before I get into his range. GF made really nice fight. And there you see he had an abyssal afterburner, which explained why he could go so fast. And yeah, there's the stats of the afterburner on the screen, so you can check that. Okay, and then the final fight, we both jumped through the gate. He uncloaked first, and I landed actually 5 kilometers from him, which was super lucky. I uncloak, switch my guns to tracking script, and I'm just orbiting this Cormorant Navy issue. The Cormorant Navy has lots and lots of range bonuses, but no tracking bonus. So I will try to out-track him instead of outranging him, because a Cormorant Navy with null can hit up to 15 kilometers without tracking disruptors, and with tracking disruptors that's still 10 kilometers, which is way too far out for me to scram kite him. But you see, when I'm overheating my tracking disruptors and orbiting him close, he's not hitting at all. And I still also have my heat on the afterburner that I can use, and he's already running quite low on shield. So I'm pretty confident at this point. I have a lot of heat left in my mid-rack for the tracking disruptors, so I could have overheated them for like 3 more minutes after they already died. And yeah, he's going into hull, and yeah, he's dying really quickly. I got really lucky with the gate thing, but I was following him anyway, so I would have probably caught him on the next plex. So yeah, there's the kill mail. Unfortunately, the pilot didn't have his Ancil shield booster loaded, but it wouldn't have made that much of a difference, because even though he could have wrapped his shields like 3-4 times entirely, I still had so much heat on the tracking disruptor and on the afterburners tracking disruptors and the afterburner left, that I could have tanked him for, well, out-tracked him, more like, for a long time more. So yeah, GF mate. After that, I also talked to the pilot a bit and gave him a few fits and a few suggestions, also to use Navy cap boosters instead of normal T1 cap boosters for his Ancil, because Navy cap boosters take less space, so you can fit more in your Ancil, and you get 9 charges in the Ancil instead of 7, which is really nice. And yeah, we had a nice chat, and yeah, that's all the fights I have in the Heron, but I really enjoyed flying it, just to fly this joke fit and having a lot of fun with it. And I hope you had as much fun watching these fights. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or ideas or something, put it in the comments, and have a good day. Bye bye.